Welcome, guys, to another episode on the Edge Cases podcast. And today's topic is very juicy that you're spending this whole episode talking about that one thing. So before so before we go right into it, I just want to say thank you so much for the support. If you've not left your comment on any of our episodes before, please go and do so. Continue to like, continue to share, and follow and subscribe to any of our channels on any of the social media platforms, right? So I'm here, Frankie, with my co-host,
Derek.
So it's the beginning of the year, and we all know, including myself, we're working on our portfolios, putting together our case studies and all that. So we are here to discuss portfolios. A designer, your portfolio is the one tool in your armory you cannot forget. Like, you have to be working on it all the time because it tells you as a designer, it shows your skills and everything that comes together to make you a designer. So today we're going to go into the nitty-gritty of what your portfolio should look like, what it shouldn't be, and just discuss what you need to do about your portfolio to make sure at the end of the day it's something you're proud of, it's something that can do what you expect it to do, right? So this episode is just from the beginning to the end. So Derek, we all know what a portfolio is. I know what a portfolio is.
Yeah.
But I think people do not know what a portfolio isn't. So we know what it is. Tell us what you think about what a portfolio shouldn't be.
Hi, I'm Derek. Yeah, so a portfolio shouldn't be a museum of previous works. So a portfolio should always be alive. It should be fresh. It should be always speaking something so that even if, let's say, per chance you've not updated it for, let's say, a month, somebody goes there, it still knows what you are about. And it's not that you are putting work from 2001 there, but then we are in 2025. 26.
Hey!
2026. And 2026, and then the work is just sitting there. Like, no life, nothing. Even if you plug a URL, I've seen some portfolios that they add a URL for the project. You click on the project, and it's not even working again.
Yeah.
Some of them, they've redone the design.
Right. So the portfolio just clearly tells you the portfolio is being worshipped.
Yes. Right. So a portfolio shouldn't be a museum. It should be a living document that actively speaks to your skill sets, right? It's a sales pitch, basically.
Right.
It's a sales pitch. So if you just leave it as one thing, and then the information is not fresh, like, it defeats the whole purpose of a portfolio. It's more like a newspaper that you have about yourself. It's a snapshot of one particular period of your life, and then it doesn't talk about.
It has to show your journey.
It has to grow with you. Yeah, your portfolio has to grow with you. So if you look at my portfolio, the first portfolio I ever built, it was bad. Like, at that time, I thought it was the best thing in the world. But as time goes on, I realized that I could improve this. I could improve this case study. It has to evolve. So if you've been using the same portfolio for God knows how long, something has to change. If it's a case studies or some designs on it, something has to change. But then, if I see your portfolio in January, and then it's the same thing, and I open your portfolio again in December, and I see the exact same thing, you've told me that you've not grown as a designer.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about portfolio expressing who we are, right? So most of the time, people design their portfolios in the name of, this is where I'm coming to tell my story. It's very easy to, not it's very easy, that is what is there. So if you're designing your portfolio, it's how do I make myself shine at the end of the day. But is that something we should put at the back of our minds as we are building our portfolios? Should it express, like, 100%, have us front and center?
I mean, there's always going to be a balance.
Okay.
There's always going to be a balance. You also don't want to box yourself so much so that somebody who's reading your portfolio just thinks of you as being one thing,
Okay.
right? So let's say you are very good at user research, right? Even though you do some of the other things quite well, user research is like
Your main
your
thing.
main thing. You don't just build it around that particular thing. Even though you can find a way to still highlight it and make everybody know that this is your main thing, you still need to show the other sides of you. Otherwise, if you don't tell the story properly, anybody at all can just make an assumption and then run with that assumption for you,
Okay.
right? So some people too might on their portfolio they might have pictures in plane traveling here. I've seen some that they've sent pictures at parties, and which is all good. It's part of expression. But then, how somebody might think about that would be different from how you think about that. You are thinking about it as we'll have a life outside work.
Yeah.
Somebody might see that and you have only
Who is that somebody?
somebody might be anybody who's making a decision that will need to read your portfolio.
Okay.
So let's say you have 2 case studies in your portfolio and they are bad. Let's assume. But then you have dozens of pictures of you traveling the world and do all those things. It
creates an impression.
creates an
that you're
impression.
not a designer.
It creates an
You are
impression.
probably better off a travel influencer.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. So the things that we might feel count as expression might not be expression to people who are making the decision. And mind you, it doesn't mean those people are bad. It just means they are looking at it from a different perspective.
Okay. Let me ride on that. So you are saying, if I get you right, you're saying your portfolio has to help someone make a decision about you. So and it also depends on your goal for the portfolio, right?
Yes.
So if I want to land a job in my portfolio, it means whatever is in there should answer the question, will this help me, would this help someone make a decision about me?
Yeah.
To offer me a job, to talk to me. Right. Okay.
Right.
So in essence, your portfolio should have a good balance, a sweet balance between
Like a
who
lot
you
of
are.
balance. Because say you apply to 20 jobs.
Okay.
All of these 20 jobs are looking for different things.
Okay.
But I have just one portfolio. So your portfolio should be a bit balanced to the extent that it speaks to all these 20 jobs that you've
That's a
applied
lot of
for.
work.
Yes. Right. So if you look at, even with resumes, we advise to tweak our resumes to suit particular jobs.
Yeah.
A portfolio is not one that you can have 20 different versions.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
unlike a CV.
Yeah.
That you can have maybe CV for fintech, CV for this, CV for this. A portfolio is not one that you can have easily. You can easily have 20 versions. So your portfolio has to be as balanced as possible so that everybody can pick what they want from the portfolio and then make a good decision on your behalf. Right. That's why you shouldn't skew like your portfolio towards one side a lot. Like there's media, I like traveling, okay, or it will sound like I have a problem with people having.
Yeah, somebody will think you're throwing jabs at people who travel.
But that's not the case.
It should just answer the question. Every single thing you put in the image, copy, title, does it help someone make a decision about me?
Yes.
Again, it actually depends on the goal. If your goal is to get a travel, whatever, to call you, then yes. But if you want a job, then you have to rethink that. So a portfolio is not a museum. It has to be a living document. And it has to have a sweet balance between who you are and then what somebody is looking out from you.
Yes.
Okay. So now we know that somebody's there. We are definitely designing our portfolios for people. It's not for us.
Exactly. I've been thinking about this with regards to portfolios. So when we are designing products, we look at the user.
But when it comes to portfolios,
we look at ourselves. You'd see the person who is the most user-centric person ever. With the person does not do any products without research
and all those things.
But then when the person is designing their portfolio, they don't do any research. They just
because they're doing it for themselves.
Good, but then the portfolio is not for you.
Yeah, so then who's the portfolio for?
The one who wants to pay you.
Well, if you want to pay yourself, then you design for yourself.
Right. So I think that's one thing we need to take into consideration. The fact that it's a portfolio doesn't mean all design processes go out the gate.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. So your portfolio has an end user. Figure out who that person is. Again, comes back to the goal. If your portfolio, if you want to land a travel gig, since Derek seems to be hung up on traveling, then yes, fill it with anything that will catch the eye of anybody in the travel industry. But if you want a job, some like a hiring manager is definitely your user. Just put yourselves in their shoes. One typical characteristic I know of hiring managers is they don't read.
They don't have
Well,
time
let me just,
to
I've been in that position where I've had to look at portfolios to make a decision as
Yeah.
to if I want to talk to this person or not. And yes, I didn't read the case studies. I didn't go through every single page. I just skimmed through. If you have if I'm able to tell from the things I'm glancing through quickly, if I'm able to tell that this person is interesting, then I'm tempted to look at a case study, make a decision, then I'll know if I want to talk to you or not. So first thing is like, if you don't know anything about a hiring manager, just know that they don't have time to read the small text, the large block of text. Please, they don't have time. So every single decision you make, just know that that is who you are designing for. If you are designing for, at the end of the day, to get a job, right? But then if it's anything else, I don't know for the others. All I know is that if you're designing your portfolio to get a job, your hiring managers do not have the time to read every single thing you put there. So you have to be very picky as to what to put there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So next thing about portfolios is how would you think about storytelling with portfolios? Like I know with your portfolio is pretty standard. Homepage, about page, like if you need an about page, contact. How do you think storytelling can be woven in? Because it doesn't have to be boring.
It doesn't.
A portfolio doesn't have to be boring. So how can we think of, after all, storytelling is now the buzzword in the industry these days. So how can we weave that in there?
It still boils down to the goal you want to achieve with the portfolio. So if you are looking at a technical industry to work in, the language you use there would have to be technical.
Okay.
If you are looking for fintech, it has to be this. So it boils down to the industry you have to work in. That's why people need to do research on where exactly you want to work.
Okay.
And then even if you, let's say you have a company that you want to work with, you can learn from their brand language and then use that as part of your portfolio. And then you can see that, oh, this person is always speaking a language. Oh, okay.
So storytelling can shine in language.
Yeah. You can
Okay.
shine language, the visual, how you display your work. It shows in that too. Are you giving us all the work up front and then telling us the description after?
Okay.
Or you are bombarding us with 1,000-word case study with
Visuals at the end.
visual at the end, right? All of that counts as also storytelling. It's not just the grammar, and it's how you display the information. That's how you even display the story to us, right? So I think people would have to pay attention to that. What else? You have some.
I think storytelling is a very dicey subject. It's subjective, so it's really how you want to go about it, right? Taking into consideration who you are designing for and what the goal is. But then I think that is where you can add bits and pieces, or you can express yourself very well. Because if you are saying I should keep the one who is looking at my portfolio in mind,
Yeah.
there are certain things I can't do. But then when it comes to storytelling, I can find a way to put my unique touch on it. So if maybe the scrolling, something you want to do something sweet with the scrolling, that's where you can put it. Maybe I don't have to put there that I am creative. I think outside
You
of
can
the
show
box. You
it.
can show it in your portfolio, but then it's still designed in such a way that it makes whoever is looking at your portfolio answer the question of should I speak to this person or
Yeah,
not,
yeah.
right? So I think storytelling is very subjective. You just have
It's,
to be very creative as to where to put it.
yeah. The thing too, you have to consider who is reading it.
Yeah.
So a lot of the time, the first pass is done by the HR guys.
Yeah.
So they normally look at your CV. They normally look at your CV and then give you filter out people based on some keywords they see in your CV.
Yeah.
Right. But then the portfolio sometimes it goes to the more technical people. So you need to write in a way that the technical people will understand that you understand what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Not just if you say you are doing user research, just say you are doing user research. Don't go any long way. Oh, we
Because I don't
went
have time to read. The reading is my problem. Because when you look at people's portfolios and case studies, because those two things are different, we tend to write a lot. Well, for some people, again, for some people, it's the goal of their case study is not to land a role. It's really just to show, or yeah, to show to whoever is reading that I really want to be detailed. But if, for instance, I'm looking for a job, I won't write like in super detail because they won't read. So you like knowing what the goal is for your portfolio and your case study really helps make decisions as to how you are crafting it, right? And that is again, storytelling can shine. Maybe for you, you don't want to use text, you want to put your video there. You want to put a video. I've seen one like that. It was very cool. It's actually something I think. Let me digress here, but I think it's rewriting the way we go about case studies because you learn in the industry and the traditional way of writing case studies is text, like text, images, gifs, but you barely see people using videos to explain their thoughts. You have to be creative about that because again, these guys, or if it's to land a role, a hiring manager doesn't have time to now come and watch you. So it has to be pieced in very well. But then if it's just you're doing it out there for anyone to just consume, yes, you can take your sweet time and design it the way you want.
The beauty of your portfolio can be in land with the role.
Yeah.
Let's say open the portfolio is really nice. You might not even bother reading the
Yeah,
case
you because they would have checked a lot of boxes. So in that's first impressions, right? So first impressions count. Like fine, keep it straight to the point. Make sure the hiring manager gets what they get, but you have to give a good first impression.
Yeah.
Imagine if you're going to meet someone for the first time, you want to look good. So why not treat your portfolio the same? But then I think that's where we blur the lines. We design it for ourselves to feel good about ourselves, right? So I think first impression is just a lot of balancing. One portfolio, so many balances.
That's why a portfolio is not just a one-day job.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, it's supposed to be a living document, and you're supposed to grow with the portfolio. So you should also give yourself that benefit of that you're not going to get the perfect portfolio in your first go.
Yeah.
You're going to take multiple iterations, and then it's the iterations that will make it better. That's why I say designers, they forget the design process when they are designing for themselves. They are designing your own portfolio. You forget everything. If it was a client project you were doing, you'd have said, oh, this is the first draft. Oh, this is the prototype. But then when you're designing your own portfolio, you throw all of that.
I've heard people say it's very difficult for them to design their portfolio, so they don't even do it at all, or they outsource it.
I used to hold a similar view, but as I've become older, I think
older and wiser.
Yes.
With long beard.
I used to hold the same view, but as I've grown older, I've seen that it's just people not knowing how to work within their own constraints.
Because all the time people set constraints for us.
Yes. I used to hold that view, but if you, let's say you want to change your habits, do you need somebody to come and tell you to change your whole habits if you are doing it for yourself? Right. But then so let's bring it back to portfolio. If somebody gives you a PRD and what, there's a timeline, that one day you'll be able to function perfectly. But when they leave you to your own devices, You're like, oh, me, it's difficult to design for myself, bruh. Let's be serious.
Okay, so moving on to the next thing, we know portfolios are made up of a lot of elements. We tend to fill up our portfolios with a lot of things, images, text, just anything at all, right? Would you say the heavier the content in your portfolio, the more appealing you become, or the less and more curated content in your portfolio, the more appeal you let off?
Again, balance. Again, balance. Somebody might have just 3 case studies, but then
Okay.
they are very high quality case studies.
Okay.
And those 3 high quality case studies will beat any 20 SAPA case study portfolio out there.
I know we will discuss case studies later, but what does quality case study mean? I'm writing my own case study. How do I know that this thing I'm putting there, it checks all boxes, or it's good enough to even be here?
Again,
Balance.
well, that depends, right? That depends. If somebody is reading your case study who isn't conversant with the industry you are doing the case study in, the person might be indifferent towards the quality of the case study. They are just reading literature, right? But then if the person is knowledgeable about the industry they're doing a case study, then the person is looking for specific things, like how does this contribute to the industry that I have knowledge on?
Okay.
How does this impact even the products that you are doing a case study on? What was your role in this? Did your case study properly explain to me how this thing was built, not just what was built, right? All of those basic things would give an indication of, or would add up to what the quality of the case study is. That's why you have to also take feedback on your case study from other people, because if you are working on it alone, you end up like looking at it too much and then not seeing the cracks around it. For the quality, you can't guarantee 100% because thousands of people read your case studies. All of them will have a different
Opinion.
The
Right.
number of insults I've seen on my case studies that I've hosted. But
So,
then,
we'll go into it later, but yeah, it's good to know that again, balance is shining
yeah,
here. Have you had a chance to go through the portfolios of designers for any reason at all?
yeah, I think 2 major times.
And did you see any things that gave you the red flags? Like this person, nah.
Yes, stolen designs. Designs that I've seen.
Why you attacking them?
Yeah, there's a difference
Feels
between
too personal.
recreating something and then designing it, or then just copy the design and changing the color from red to blue, and then write a whole case study on that, and then giving us the impression that
You did the work.
you did the work. I've seen it. I think I've seen it twice.
Oh.
I've seen it twice. There was a time somebody sent me their portfolio to review, and then 2 of the designs in the portfolio were designs that he had stolen from somewhere. And I was like,
So you asked them?
yes. I was
Or
like,
her?
"Oh, him, or it's
Or
over
her.
him."
Hey, so here's
See, gender bias, stereotype. So I asked him, and he started giving plenty explanation. "Oh, this person is my mentor, this is this. But bro, why would you steal somebody's UI shot and write a whole case study on that?
Hey, that's
And then-
extreme. Like that's so much work for stealing. Stealing with class.
Right? The time that I used to
The
time I used to write a case study on somebody else's
I'm
UI
with
shot,
you.
just do your own. Just do your own. But Charlie,
Okay, so stolen design.
Stolen
so that
design.
one is when you knew that this is a stolen design.
Yeah.
Any other red flags?
I mean, not writing well.
Okay.
That'll also be it's not a big red flag, but it's
I think it counts. If I'm going to
little-
work with somebody who can't string pieces of sentences together, red flag. What are you come to tell me?
it's-
You've interacted
yeah.
with people in the team. So yeah.
Because if you're writing a case study for me and you are there are too many like gaps in your thinking. That's a little bit of a red flag. There are too many grammatical errors. That tells me you didn't read the whole thing, and it's either you didn't read the whole thing or you didn't pay close attention to what you are putting out. That's a bit of a red flag also. Um, Another thing would be you know understanding the space that you are designing for.
Okay.
So a case study can just somebody might write a case study and it's just a description of what they've done, but they
Okay.
do not show any understanding or a field they are designing for.
Okay.
So those are the type of people that you know from a case study that they just took instructions and they just designed based on what
So
instructions
that's
that
so in
that
essence,
PM
your
gave.
portfolio slash case study give off implicit meanings, as in you can read behind
Yeah,
the hood.
if you read it enough. I mean, there's a misconception. Well, it's not a misconception. It happens a lot that people don't read the full.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'll read.
Are you hiring? Are
For
you
me, I'll
hiring?
read. The thing is, I'll read. I want to know when I see a cool, especially when it's a cool project, and I see oh, this is an industry I've not done anything in. I would want to read it.
Yeah.
So even though a lot of maybe 90% of the time people will not read your 1,000 word case study, there's still a 10% chance that somebody will read it.
Well, yeah, maybe the person is not hiring. That's why they have that time to read through everything, like you.
Well, well, maybe. But then you see, so let's say I become, let's say I get to a position where I'm actually hiring.
Hiring.
I'll still read it.
Okay.
I'll still read it.
I
Because
think
right now there are a lot of tools that you can use to filter out applications very easily. So if I have, let's say, at Yellow Card, when I was leaving Yellow Card, we put out the application, and within a few, maybe 4 hours, we had like 200 and something applications. At that point, we could close it and then filter out the people based on the application that they sent in, and we can filter to maybe 20 people. And if it's just 20, I will read all of them
Okay.
because I'm not going through 200 applications, right? So there's a chance that nobody will read a case study. There's also a chance that somebody will read it. So you have to prepare for both. That's why we talk about balance.
From the beginning, here again. Hello, balance. So on my side, I've had the chance to review portfolios with the intention of hiring.
And you
Right.
bounce people.
Yeah, bounce
And you
people.
bounce Reagan.
Unfortunately, I had to.
Wow.
Yeah. So on my side, one of the things that were big red flags to me were the presentation of portfolios. I don't like portfolios. It's a personal thing. I don't like portfolios hosted on Behance.
Wow.
I don't like portfolios.
Like broke shaming people.
I'm not broke shaming. Broke. There are so many tools out there you can use for free to put together a nice, befitting portfolio. Behance, why?
The only way I hear the word befitting being used is in burial.
Ah. Oh my god. So yes, the format you choose to present your portfolio says a lot about you. If you can't spend time to design your portfolio, have it posted on a URL, I can make my own deductions and say
You'd have to convince me on that a bit.
why would you want to hold it doesn't Behance.
But okay. So we have tools like Notion and the rest. Then I resonate a lot with this because I got my first job with a Notion portfolio.
I've used Notion as a portfolio before. So Notion as against Behance, I'll take Notion. I'll take you seriously. Behance is for product showcase. It's like design.
Isn't that a portfolio?
No, it won't tell me how you're thinking. If you're going to just screenshot the thing, okay, well, you can do that, but be creative about it because the ones I've seen on Behance, they are cookie cutter, images, and then
I get what you're talking about.
So I've come with that notion that is what Behance is for.
Okay.
So I might just scroll through. I will just like quickly scroll through unless it's really something about it catches my eye. But if I just take it and I have a feeling or the impression that it's going to be like the rest, Trust me, I'm not going there. So yeah, that's the first thing. That's the
I
first
think I get.
red flag. Plus,
Okay.
you're not able to shine. I don't get to see who you are with that as your format,
Mm.
right? Behance app is the same for everyone, almost the same for everyone. So there's that. And then if you do have a famous site on actual website, and then there is some inconsistency, so your homepage is very different from your about page, very different from your contact page, your case study pages, the languages are not the same. Who are you? Who am I going to be working with? I'm not going to work with a two-faced person or a 10-faced person, right? So as soon as I sense some inconsistency in there, I become worried about who this person is. So inconsistency really matters. Speak the same language from your homepage to the about page to the content. Speak the same language. Give off the same vibe from the beginning to the end, right? Like you said, English. English is very important. You won't believe somebody sent a portfolio, like sent in their portfolio, and the level or the number of errors, punctuation, as in the English is fine, but use of punctuation.
In the beginning, we talked about people treating their portfolio like an actual product.
Yeah.
And we mentioned how people's design thinking
goes
out the window when they are designing their. These are some of the things. Because such a person, I would bet money that they would pay close attention if it's
a freelance work,
if the client's work,
or the actual 9 to 5 job.
They'll probably pay more attention to that, and some of those inconsistencies you are mentioning will not be there. Probably because they have a PM who is telling them, "Oh, this.
You left a dot here. You left this."
So that's another red flag. If you can't PM
you can't PM your own portfolio.
Yeah, that's what personal. Yeah, so product management to personal management.
Bas. So yes, that's one other thing that is a red flag for me. And the next thing is, let me just go small into case studies. You mentioned is just plastering the screenshots there. What am I supposed to do with that? Yes, I know I'm hiring a design, like no context. What am I supposed to do with that? So I just look through no context, bounce.
There's a place for that. I get what you're saying. There's a place for that too.
Well, I have a section on my portfolio where it's just short. Yes. So you need to set the content.
I click on it and I just see the title, and then I get what you're saying. The thing is, if we are to be honest, a lot of people create their portfolios last minute.
Like then they're going to do something.
Yes, they create their portfolios when they need a job.
Okay.
You remember last year, I didn't need a job last year, but I was currently working on a portfolio, and that gave me time to understand the type of designer I am and the type of designer I want to portray to people, or the type of message also. Right. So if you wait till you need a job before you start your
some of the
case study,
that
you would rush. You would definitely rush because you are acting out of desperation. Right. So I would advise people, if you think you need a job next year, start handling your portfolio right now.
It applies to your CVs and your resumes as well.
Because you are using all the rejections that you get as feedback. Right. So you go for an interview, the type of questions they ask you in the interview, you know that, okay, my portfolio didn't answer these questions. So now I need to make sure my portfolio answers these questions so that we can use the interview for better discussions. Because if you go to the interview, if it's a 30-minute interview, and they spend the first 20 minutes trying to understand the type of designer you are,
you've not done your job.
Yes, because you've not really helped yourself in that interview. Because you should have answered those questions in your resume, your portfolio,
your case studies,
right?
Everything there.
If you go there and they ask you what industries have you worked in, that means you probably didn't answer that question in your CV or your case study. Maybe they didn't read, but then also it has taken valuable time away from the 30 minutes you have in the interview. Yeah.
Okay. So my last takeaway, or my takeaway from the entire conversation, is to have a goal for your portfolio. why are you putting together this? Are you putting it together to show the world who you are? The way you would approach it is very different from if the goal is to find a job. And if you're finding a job, know that your hiring manager or the one who is looking at it to make a decision if they should talk to you or not needs certain questions answered. So every single thing in there should be directed towards helping the hiring manager to say yes. I want to talk to Derek. I want to talk to Franklina, or I want to talk to you. That is my statement. So, with all this, I hope this conversation has been a game changer, has given you more insights as to what to think about, how to go about putting together your portfolio. And if you've gotten to the end of the episode, don't forget to share, don't forget to like, don't forget to leave your comments because we read them. Derek, don't we? We read them. So talk to you next time on our next episode. Bye.